Do I have the bow prime?
Bow Prime.
Bow
Anyways,
prime.
back to how to fix World of Warcraft. Next note. For those who don't know, we just go by a big notepad file that has a bunch of notes. Then so
We
we
came
just
up with some ideas. I want to make sure it was written down.
yeah, so we write them down and then we just go sequentially by it's pretty random based on what we thought of first or last. Sometimes I'll add notes to the bottom of
Yeah,
the
these are
notepad.
not in
Sometimes I add
any
notes to the
order.
top. Yeah. So the topmost note says final expansion level of cap of 200, but maybe only one or two raids at that level, and everything else is at 150. So you can do them fresh or out level them. This is a more weird experimental idea.
Yeah, this was my idea for the next expansion, which should be the last.
Yeah,
It won't be the last, but it should be the last.
the thing's undefended, by the way. Is someone trying to extract?
I am defending it. I'm defending it, but I also had to go and pick
well,
up the battery.
we were also the only ones defending it. Me and
I'm always defending.
team best players, but yeah, so it's a little weird because definitely for people. But here's one of the other things that you said to add to that was new raid for level 60s, something like say Deep Moradon Hold. Again, these are ideas. They're like they will never be added to the game, but they're also they're not
They're
like
great ideas if we can go
permanently
into
solid.
explaining how to implement them,
Yeah.
which is also the point of this video.
They're not-
and
yeah.
this specific one.
They're not permanently solid. Like say a new level 60 dungeon that if you choose to play it, it puts you down to say level 60. That's an idea.
The idea for this was let people actually raid beyond level fucking. Don't make them have to rush to max level. This is again going with my basic design philosophy. Why do we still not have batteries in this?
Yeah, I don't know. I just slapped one in. I was fucking waiting for other people to do shit. They left though. We'll finish this and then we'll cash out on this.
Anyway, the basic design philosophy, which was that the game
Like in
should be
Warframe.
about the rush to max level.
Yeah, like in Warframe, I'm mastery rank 21, and I'm probably one day I might hit
That's
mastery
pretty high
rank
level,
22.
too.
Yes, I might hit mastery rank 22, but I'll never really have to if I don't want to. I could just play
And you shouldn't have to,
Yeah.
and the game doesn't expect it.
because what you level up in Warframe is you level up your Warframe, and then you could just go take another Warframe and level that up, and it hits max level pretty easily. The Warframe I have is level 30, that's the max level for it, and I can reset its level and change its mod slots to have different polarity, so I can put different mods in it that give them that like save me more mod slot points and stuff, so I can you customize it out, and that's basically
There
how
does
you
get to a certain point where there's kind of no point in that, and you want to probably move on, or just allow yourself to focus.
stick
on
with
what
it
you
forever.
have.
Yeah, stick with what you have forever, or go equip a different Warframe. And then the exact same thing for weapons. I have the Boar Prime as my primary weapon because I just love automatic shotguns, and it's level 30, but I've formatted it like maybe 4 or 5 times to make sure that I can get the best mods in there that have the highest amount of mod points in them and all that goofy shit.
We're surrounded by batteries, by the way.
Yeah, I
No
know.
one's doing
I
anything.
don't see any. Well, there is no one in the game.
We're surrounded by
I know.
batteries, and no one's putting them in.
That's because there's no one here.
And I was just standing here defending, making
Yeah,
sure.
I was too. I was actually standing more on it and defending more.
I was
But
literally standing on top of it, and I don't see you.
here we have to. Yeah, I was looking for a battery, and I was also standing right on top of the thing. The thing is, I'm reading the text file too, though, so I have to focus on that more. It's more important than cryotic.
That's how little I care about this World of Warcraft
Yes.
shit. I know that we'll never get the chance to actually fix it, to improve it like it should be.
But the
Not even that
comparison-
it deserves to be. It's so beyond time.
The comparison was
Far beyond
very
time.
apt, though, is that instead of playing just to rush to max level, see, that's how Warframe kept us playing first of all, for free without paying a monthly fee, But then
first off,
after I got, like, say I got my Warframe to level 30, then I got a gun, and that got to level 30. And then I, raised a mastery rank. The thing is, you can keep doing that over and over, resetting your things, forma them so that it resets the level.
Then we learned about formas, then we learned about potatoes.
Yeah, and you gradually...
The fucking Orkin cells and reactors.
Yeah, you gradually learn more and more about the intricacies, but you don't have to know them. You don't have to know them at the beginning, but as you play, the learning curve is just there, but it can, you can pick up stuff as you go along. There's still some problems with this game. I would say that it needs to give you a better indicator of where to go farming shit. Like, if I need to go farming a specific material, the game should just tell me instead of me having to look up a wikia, which is a problem I have with World of Warcraft 2. But as far as this game,
but again, free to play. No monthly subscription.
Yeah. And the thing is, taking out the race to max level, because there is no such thing as max level, actually increases the replayability. And it also increases the cooperative aspects, because you're just... The drop-in, drop-out aspects, making it easy to just jump right the fuck in. Where's some power, by the way? I don't know where any batteries are.
There's none around here. Somebody actually has to go and get them. But somebody else has to defend.
I don't think anyone...
I've been here defending this whole time.
Here's a fucking battery.
Somebody else would go and get a battery.
I'm not even thinking about getting batteries. I'm not thinking about getting batteries for even 1 second.
I'm not even thinking about WoW.
I'm not even thinking about World of Warcraft.
I'm not even giving consideration to World of Warcraft.
And
we're doing a whole video here talking about it.
Yes.
And I'm not even thinking about it.
Yeah, it's an important concept, though. It shows how Warframe is a better MMO. I'll just go with this. Warframe is a better MMO than World of Warcraft, and Warframe is really just 4-player max. You just play with 3 other players, and it's still a better MMO because it has better cooperative aspects. Fucking, where's the...
Yeah, we're the only ones here.
Yeah, I know. I
didn't even realize. I was sure that other guy was still here.
They dropped out like 10 minutes ago. They dropped out like 2
I was pretty sure the other guy was still here. One guy left.
The important... No, where's the exit?
Exit's over here.
Let's go find the exit. It just points out.
Yeah, this one, talking about the new expansion, if we're not talking about it, this will take another video to go into.
Yeah, that's an important
because this is something I really wanted to make sure to cover, is a new expansion that's centered around the final form.
Finality, and the thing is, I legitimately don't know if Battle for Azeroth is supposed to be the final expansion. I imagine it isn't. I got a new...
Yeah, I don't think it is, and I wouldn't want it to be because it sounds like it's dumb.
Yeah, I have no idea what even happens in it, what the gameplay elements of it are. Doesn't really matter. Do you want to go do the grinding for the thingy deal now?
Yeah.
Anyways, the idea of an expansion of making the max level 200, but that's just for the level so you can outlevel stuff and play it at an outlevel. Like, I can go to Ice Crown Citadel and just I can do that right now. I can go to Ice Crown Citadel on my 110 and just fucking nuclear nuke the fuck out of it. And that's one of, actually, the biggest draws for me, is going back to old dungeons and just completely cakewalking it solo. And maybe getting some transmogs.
We're not the only ones who do that.
Yeah, there are other people who do that, and they should start designing the game with the capability to do that, but at the same time, design the game so if you want to level squish yourself intentionally... I'm just going right to the fucking thing. If you want to level squish yourself intentionally and just play the game with... let's see, what am I going to throw? Oh, yeah. If you want to, like, say you're level 110 right now, but you want to do Molten Core legit, you just select to do, like, well, there's the whole time walking concept. Make that universal permanently, and say, you can go into a party of 40 that just goes into
that one's easy to do right now too. Just turn it to heroic mode. There was never a heroic mode. You could just do that. Although personally, the preferable form will be some kind of permanent version of time walking.
They do some kind of automatic level squish right now for if you're 110, but you're in a party of 104, 102, 101 people doing a dungeon, it sort of evens out everyone's health and the enemy damage. I just got 2 Orkin cells for some reason. But,
shit, where? Oh,
I mean, it's just going to be 1 for you, I think, because I have that booster.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Well, we both have a double booster going, so that should be increasing our chances.
The point of this is to make World of Warcraft permanently playable for all players in any way they personally choose to select. Like,
specifically, they have a boatload of old content that can still be played.
Is a stalker?
No, it's not.
Yeah, here's the thing.
The
amount of ancient content that you simply skip past. Oh shit! What the? Oh, these are just goofy roller things. Did we just kill all of them?
Nope, there's still a few of them.
Okay, whatever. They're bouncing around somewhere. Anyways, yeah, there's tons of old content from like level 70, 80. Nobody does Sunwell.
60.
Yeah, nobody goes back and does Sunwell unless they want like a transmog or just to see what it looks like inside. That's the one I've done the least.
I've replayed a lot of the raids. I've barely been back to Sunwell ever.
Oh, that's
because it's very boring, and one of the bosses was like, oh, you have to step into the void zone and
but you cannot play it legit. Nobody can play it legit. It's literally impossible. It exists in the game. It's a level 70 raid, and you cannot play it legitimately. You can, if you're level 70, you're not going to find other level 70s. You're going to find other people who blew past level 70 a long fucking time ago. So what
nobody can do, even when it was new, even when it was legit, you couldn't do it.
And even if we understand better than World of Warcraft fairs that even if you fucking did a level squish, people probably still wouldn't play Sunwell, but there is no option to do that. There is no option to make yourself become level 70 temporarily while you and some friends go play Sunwell. And there should be an option for that, because otherwise Sunwell is just sitting there. They can't even do anything.
Same thing for whatever it was, raid against Hyjal.
Yeah, exactly. The Caverns of Time Hyjal. That's one.
Yeah, the battle for Hyjal from level 70. And part of that, again, this is partly the fault of the developers and partly the fault of the community, is there's no way to actually do it.
Yeah, there's tons of content just sitting around that doesn't have any justification to exist anymore.
Good luck finding a guild that will be capable of doing it, being geared to do it.
And that's even if they did a level squish where it's like, queue up for this and it will make you level 70 temporarily while you go do it. The thing is, most people still wouldn't want to do that. I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to fucking do that. But again, there is no option.
I've soloed the place. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
It's atrocious.
It sucks. It sucks even when I'm fucking like 50 levels ahead of it and just blazing through it solo.
Just experiencing it, just to experience the experience.
Just to physically see with my eyeballs what it looks like.
And it's terrible.
Well, sometimes it's like, oh, that part looks cool, but if I was doing this in a raid, I would be miserable. And some people convince themselves they wouldn't be miserable as they are. Again, we proved that objectively.
But again,
that
those
World of Warcraft fans,
World of Warcraft, they have never gotten to experience this content.
They have, but they were miserable when they did it and convinced themselves that they weren't. And we proved this objectively.
Less than 1% of the fucking player base.
Yeah.
They just didn't get to play it because it's impossible.
They're phony, fraudulent people, sub-NPCs. They're not actually human beings because they're not capable of admitting what they're actually feeling. They feel something and then tell other people publicly that they're feeling the exact opposite. That is basically the World of Warcraft raiding community, not even in a nutshell, but in its entirety, beginning to end. It's not even summing it up. That's the full book. That's the entire encyclopedia's worth of information about World of Warcraft raiders. Anyways, So, you mentioned in the notes here, new raid for level 60's Deep Maraudon Hold. Now say, again, final expansion, level cap of level 200. You get to level 200, but you can do this new level 60 raid, Deep Maraudon Hold. And it really wouldn't even matter what level it pushes you back down to.
You can do it at level 60 also. Because, again, it's not about rushing to max level. You hit level 60, and it's like, okay, now I can do a raid. You know, maybe you're level 61. Of course, that's where some of the questions have to come in. Do we force them to do a level squish when you enter the area? I don't want them to have to do that.
I would say
at the same time, it'll make it impossible to do these raids normally.
I would say make it like elective. Elective's not the fucking term for it, but you know, make the player able to choose if you want to go in solo at like level 200 and annihilate the place solo or with other people, or if you want to do it legit and level squish.
But which is part of the reason why I wanted to make it so that all the other raids and dungeons end at 150. That way, if you wanted to, you could work at out-leveling them so that you could solo them. If you want to see the content, but you hate having to group with the other idiots who play
cattle,
WoW.
the NPC, normie pig cattle, or NPCs, if you will, who actually enjoy World of Warcraft raiding. But the thing is, if they want to fucking do it legit, again, you don't need a level 200 raid. You just need a level 60 raid that squishes your level down to 60 if you want to do raids, because then any raid in the entire game can just be auto-balanced to whatever level you're at. But there would still be new
content in this expansion, too. Yes. It's not just about forcing you to rehash the old raids and stuff. There'll be some new content. I figured, how about something like a Dyson sphere or a Dyson shell, where you're on the inside of the country,
and that's why you mentioned
it's all, you can see everything that's above you.
That's why you mentioned the new raid would be level 60, because it doesn't matter what the level is; it just matters that it's new content. So anyone, here's another Orkin cell, by the way.
I got it.
But it doesn't, like, they can make another new raid that would be level 80 later. You know, they could release that for free.
And the point is, you could play it at level 80.
Yeah, or if you're, again, to reiterate, if you're above level 80, you can intentionally choose to squish your level down to 80 to play with other 80s to play it legit. So that way, that would be all the rating. Now, if you're saying, well, no one will do it, that means that nobody actually wants to do rating. And you're admitting that. World of Warcraft fan, you are admitting nobody actually wants to do ratings legitimately.
Why would you admit such thing? Why would you make that mistake?
Yeah, well, how come you're doing that? Because then you're trying to claim, oh, people love rating. Then you're trying to also claim no one would do it legitimately if given the choice.
And personally, I don't accept that. I think, just like with LFR, which people are like, oh, welfare epics, they ruined the game. Why do more people do it?
Yeah, I got bad news for you. All epics are welfare epics. Even fucking in vanilla WoW, fucking the epics from Molten Core were welfare epics. It's kind of like
astrology.
Too. Yes.
It's like astrology. What's your sign? Mine's unicorn.
Unicorn isn't a real astrology sign. Neither are all of the other ones, because they don't exist.
None of them are real.
None of them. But here's the thing, is that I actually had an idea for this, like, back in either Vanilla or Burning Crusade. And again, it was just an idea, and we don't
all
say...
All the way back then. Wow, that was a long time ago.
We don't say, this is the only way the game can be good. I think they've made the game pretty decent in some aspects with other features, but one way that would be fun, objectively, that other games started doing, and then World of Warcraft started doing after we recommended them years ago. It happened whether you like it or not, and people fucking played it and had fun and couldn't complain. They wanted to complain, but they had nothing to complain about, so they were just like,
it was like Kmart. Down with Kmart.
Down with Kmart and their reasonably priced things that people can afford. Down with Kmart and their gallon of bleach for 29 cents. I mean, hey, let's close down that Kmart and turn it into a vintage t-shirt store that sells Kmart t-shirts for $80. That's basically what World of Warcraft fans want. They want that level of exclusivity.
That's what they say they want. They say they want it.
It's very...
I don't believe they do.
It's very sorority party, like a college girls sorority party. That's basically what World of Warcraft raiding is all based on, is exclusivity. Like, you're not invited to this party, only we are. It's for girls. It's something that only a girl does, unless you're a male World of Warcraft. Male World of Warcraft raiders are the most effeminate people we've ever met in our entire lives.
Believe me, I know.
We know from personal experience. We've met them, we've seen them, we've been around them, we've tried raiding with them for a while, just because I wanted volcano shoulders. I wanted volcano shoulders so bad, I actually put up with World of Warcraft fans and raiders.
The gayest thing I've ever done.
In my entire life.
Boy, do I ever regret that.
Boy.
It's like the day I tried to live.
Yes, the day I tried to live. Boy, that wasn't a very good idea. That didn't work out very well, did it? But here's the thing is, I could have just waited for Burning Crusade and got to level 70 and then go solo Molten Core and gotten my volcano shoulders on my... Or get the blue volcano shoulders as the random world drop. I think I got them from the auction house eventually, but still, you know.
I'm pretty sure they're a rare drop.
Yeah, they're a rare world drop.
I remember getting them myself, like on accident.
Yeah, I think you did, but the thing is, they're buying on pickup, so only you. Once you picked them up, you can't give them to other people.
Why would you want to be able to trade or sell things?
And that was another thing
you find that you don't have a use for.
That was another thing we told them to do in World of Warcraft was, if you pick up something that other people in the party could use, at least let players have the option to at least trade to other players for a limited time, and then they added that. They added it like a year or two after we recommended it. Yeah, years.
Actually, it was years and years after.
Yeah, multiple years afterwards, but then they did add that. They added that where if you're in a party, if you're in a dungeon, and you get like some piece of gear that...
I know I either had it in the list or I wanted to write it down. Mm-hmm. But ultimately I wanted to just suggest they need to get rid of this whole soulbound shit. Maybe not altogether, but they definitely need to fucking...
I never understood why they had it in the first place.
Unclench their assholes when it comes to that bullshit.
Yeah, I never really... You should be able to... If they're going to really have that...
It was one of the first things about the game that really pissed me off. Was, what the fuck's this soulbound shit?
Yeah, in 2007.
Just when I don't have a use for this thing, all I can do is just obliterate the fucking thing. They literally have something called an obliterator now, where it's like, oh, here's an item that you don't necessarily use. It'll just turn it into ash. And you turn this ash into some other useful bullshit.
You turn it into obliteratum or some shit. Yeah, that's in Legion,
that's why I think of your epics.
Yeah, that's only in Legion.
Think of your fucking gear. Yeah, it's only in this one expansion.
Yeah, but so the next expansion doesn't have it. Probably I
get an item and it's like, oh, I don't need this item anymore. Pointless. But I bet one of my friends could use this. Well, too bad, because you already equipped it.
Obliteratum is literally...
You don't have a use for it, and now they don't have a use for it. No one has a use for it.
The most pointless thing in the entire game is Obliteratum from fucking Legion. Or whatever it's called, Obliteratorium. I don't fucking know. I don't give a shit. I didn't even read the word that closely because it has no function in the game.
It's a very nonsensical word. But yeah, in particular, because we have the expansion, it doesn't even serve a functional, rational purpose anymore. Because you could just easily outlevel the fucking gear.
Neither do the artifact relic upgrade thingies. There's a whole like upgrade tree for your artifact weapons that no longer works in the game anymore. They're just grayed out.
But they show up, but it's like, this doesn't do anything anymore.
It doesn't,
because you used your weapon to heal the wounds of the planet. It's like, what is this bullshit?
It doesn't even explain it accurately or sensibly. It has a stupid lore fluff. That's one of the other things we have talked about since the beginning of World of Warcraft is anyone who says the word lore, you can tell they are a faggot. You will never meet a cool, interesting, funny person who talks about video game lore, who uses the word lore to describe a video game story, especially World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it used to be just called backstory, and that's what it is.
And
it's the backstory.
And it belongs in the back. It belongs fucking shoved way into the back.
Back of the bus.
Yes. Well, not even the back of the bus, because the back of the bus is usually where the cool kids went first. Now fucking back of the bus is just, well, it's still that. So World of Warcraft lore doesn't belong there. Fucking the front of the bus is World of Warcraft belongs. The lore, just the whole game. The whole stupid
bumper.
game. Yes, the
front
bumper. In front of the front bumper as the bus is going 60 miles an hour. Anyways, we can continue this off. Well,
I will keep that one on the list in case I remember some other shit.
Hold on a second.
We did kind of cover a lot of the stuff.
We were justifying why it would be level 60, but you said deep Moradon hold, lots of plants and crystals, looks amazing.
Some really, one of the things is you can kind of go wild with the fucking art design.
It actually says way better than Molten Core. That's easy. It's easy to design something that's better than Molten Core. Just say it's way better than Molten Core.
Fuck yeah. I mean, did you ever see the inside of Molten Core?
Yeah, it's pretty bland. Although that's the sad thing
it's not just pretty bland, it's the least interesting place you've ever seen.
The only problem is it was distinct from other caves in World of Warcraft vanilla. That's the only reason why it stood out. But now it's just it's a cave. And it's like, so who gives a shit? There's fucking way better art design in later parts of the game.
Completely featureless. And then even the raid that comes after that is pretty much featureless.
Well, they considered lava a feature back then. It has lots of features. There's
lava and black rocks.
Yeah, thanks. Well, gee, you spoil us, Blizzard.
There's a bunch of dark iron ore there. Oh, boy.
What do you use it for? Nothing. No, especially now. What do you use dark iron for? Nothing. But
that's another thing. Actually, I don't know if I wrote that down.
It's also way better than Molten Core.
And for crafting in the end game is, or not even in the end game, but on the way to the end game, is just here's the fucking use Titan steel and living steel. Use the fucking burnished leather. Here's all these crafting things you could make with your fucking crafting. Now they have a use again.
Yeah, make them. Yeah,
just
add
combine
new uses.
Them.
Yeah, just add some new uses that encourages, like, for the real cat-assy shit. Like, if you want to make something really unique and weird, like, say, a mount, it'll require, living steel and burnished leather, but then also, like, something from multiple different expansions
also make it
simultaneously.
Here's the problem. Burnished leather, that's soulbound. You make it, it's soulbound, you can trade it. I don't know
get
why,
rid of that.
Because there's others that aren't.
Get rid of that being soulbound. Just make it stop being soulbound. Erase that from the game.
So 90% of the things that are soulbound are no longer soulbound.
Yeah.
Do that.
Gear being soulbound, I can kind of understand. Just so, but again, I don't really understand it either. Because in Diablo 2, there wasn't soulbound. You fucking get it, and if you didn't want to use it anymore, you could throw it on the ground. You could sell it, or you could give it to a friend.
And your godly plate of whale.
Yes.
Whale.
But it's like, why don't they do that in World of Warcraft? And if there's a reason, why can't they make it so you can remove the soulbound, a status of it, at least, if you want to give it to a friend? The reason for that is because if you were able to do that, you would be able to give other players advantages. You'd give a friend an advantage. They didn't want that because that would make it so that friend, that player, didn't have to play that part of the game. It would let them speed through the fucking game because they would just have better gear. You could just give them an epic and they wouldn't need anything. And it's like, well, who gives a shit if they get it or not? Because and the point of that is, well, then they won't have to go play Molten Core themselves. It's like, yeah, fucking, that's a good thing, but still, fine. If that's your fucking goal, then keep the gear.
Again, it's supposed to be cooperative.
Yeah, again, it removes cooperative play and incentive to play cooperatively from other players. So a lot of them are just out for themselves.
In the era of Molten Core, how the fuck were you ever supposed to get geared up? All the fucking trash drops, they would all drop, and they'd be good.
They'd shard them.
You had never stepped foot in Molten Core before. Otherwise, they were jokes.
Yeah,
they were dummy prizes.
If like Shaman shoulders dropped, but your alliance, so there are no shamans, then it would just be sharded or fucking vendored, and people would just be like, why did that drop? Just because it's random. It's just completely random chance.
And it's 3 items for 40 motherfucking people to share.
Yeah, and that's why we told Blizzard directly. We specifically reported this to them in the patch test realms, and we posted about it on forums and shit. That we know that Blizzard saw is that they need to start making boss drops specifically for the people in that exact run, and they started doing that. They started doing it a couple years afterwards.
After they should have.
Yeah.
Way too late.
Yeah, they didn't need. They shouldn't have needed us to tell them to do that. But after we told them to do it, they did it, and it made the game better. Because it's not about welfare
game and you like that, you're welcome.
Because it was the rares, the blues would still do that from dungeons, where they would only drop something that was specifically for people in that run, and they made gear that would change out its own stats, as we mentioned in a previous video too, which is really important. Anyways, you mentioned a Deep Moradon hold looks amazing, way better than multicore, and is actually near Horde capital cities. That's very important because
that was an extremely good point.
Because Horde is way cooler than Dumb Gay Alliance. And then, yeah, another point you pointed out here, can time walk all raids with level scaling. That's something we already talked about.
Yeah, that's what I would prefer. That might take work, I can understand. That might take work.
Yeah, also can do raids out leveling them to solo or even walk people through, and you get big reward. You get big rewards for doing it, more reasons to go back to old content to have adventures. Yeah, that's something we were just talking about, so we're reading through the notes without even reading directly through them. They're just ideas that we had. We were remembering them with our own minds.
These are things that I've been thinking of while I've been replaying the game. It's like, oh man, this raid would be so much more fun if I had a reason to actually come back here and do this with other people.
And
but don't make me fucking join a raid guild. Those are terrible.
If you walk other people...
I said we should leave off here and then... In fact, that should probably be...
hold on. One last note, though, is that if the idea of rewarding you for if you walk other, like, lobbies through it, there should be some kind of reward.
That was another
like
thing.
a fun cosmetic reward.
That was a very unique concept that I came up with, which should probably be its own separate video.
Yeah.
Which was the idea of being able to walk other people through low-level content when you're high-level.
Yeah, it should give you a reward, but nothing too serious. Just something for people who sort of like to goof around in the game. So it'll give you like a cosmetic reward, like it'll unlock some kind of cosmetic skins for armor, transmogs, maybe mount, like you earn enough badges, you can earn just a basic cosmetic ground mount, something like that. You know, something that would give players an incentive to...
But also, what I figured is also
just once in a while,
more tangible benefits like the fucking justice points or whatever. Something that would give you a reason to actually go in, just like with these scenarios. And you go in, the rewards are reduced, but you still have a legitimate reason to do it, besides just cosmetics.
They can make justice points universal throughout the entire game from 1 to level 200. Just make justice points where, like, say, level 60, 70, 80 epics cost, like, 40, 50, 60... 100 justice points, and then like level 100 epics will cost 1,000 justice points, and you simply receive more justice points the more you play the higher level content. So
that's what the way it used to be. They used to have that.
But the thing is, they made justice points, and then they made heroism points, and they made them different currencies when they should have just all been the exact same currency, just different amounts. So that you could, if you keep playing at level 60, you could eventually buy something level 80. You just have to be level 80 to equip it. So if you do the level 80 content, you can fucking go earn it yourself. But if you do level 60 content over and over and over again, over a longer period of time, you could eventually still earn it anyways. So
it's still universal. One of their big early mistakes that they made, and it was one of the first things people complained about, is if you don't have the 5 hours to set aside to raid, you would never get the same rewards.
Warcraft raids, enjoy your aids. Anyways, so yeah, we'll leave off on that because it's been a half hour. We'll come back next time. Make sure to Make sure to unlike, share, don't comment. Fuck, that's some good pepperoni. And if you want to be verified on social media, you're barely a human being.